15.
15.
10 seconds.
10 seconds still show.
In 5,
4, 3, 2, 1.
Cue it.
Chevrolet Sports Night is here just for you and on tap tonight. Football fans wanting to see games in person? Got a bit of good news from Governor Roy Cooper on Tuesday. Details on capacity limits beginning in October. The Fighting Irish won't be heading to the Tri this weekend after all. Why? Positive COVID tests hitting the Notre Dame football team. We've got the details on that and more. And Major League Baseball enters the final week of its abbreviated season. Atlanta looking to lock down the East one more time. We got a check of the NBA playoffs, the fantasy fuel, and so much more right here in the Chevrolet Sports Night.
Stand by.
This is the Chevrolet Sports Night.
Intro.
Well, hello there, friends. Welcome into the Chevrolet Sports Night here on Spectrum News 1. I am Mike Solarte. So glad you could join us here. For the next 30 minutes, we will get you caught up on the day and night in the world of sports and how it impacts your fandom and
Video on 2 and
all the things
monitor.
that go along with it. And really, fans are what has been really missing in the last couple of months in the world of sports, but they are going to start to trickle back. See, it's safe to assume it's going to be a while before we see a full crowded Bank of America Stadium or any stadium or any number of college venues across our state. But according to Governor Roy Cooper on Tuesday, it won't be long before we see some
We're gonna have a
kind
full
of life
screen.
in the stands. The governor's current executive order for COVID-19 restrictions expires Friday, October the 2nd. Starting that weekend, he says that all outdoor venues that seat at least 10,000 people can start operating at 7% capacity.
Full
Now,
speed
that
up.
figure would allow for 5,278 fans at
Okay.
Bank of
Music,
America
please.
Stadium, about 4,000 at NC State's Carter Finley Stadium.
So we're gonna have
3,500
the generic
at Carolina
Panthers.
King Stadium, ECU
And then-
Johnny
For the
Pickens
tag
Stadium
here.
as well.
Okay.
2,800
Hot change
at
to
Reach
wait.
Walnut Wayne
Okay.
Stadium, 2,200 at Truist Field for Wake Forest, and less than 2,000 at Kidwell Stadium and at Gary Richardson Stadium for App State and another 20 million.
He's
Now,
up.
Panther season ticket PSL holders were contacted by the club on Tuesday and given the option of selecting a 2-game plan for the season. The next home date coming October the 4th against Arizona. Now, according to the email, seat selection for Panther.
I'm gonna
games
switch to the graphic and the
is scheduled to
monitor,
begin
and then we have a
Thursday.
pack and
The
3.
team stating in their email that they hope to accommodate more fans as the season progresses, but they would follow guidelines from the CDC, state, and local officials.
Wake
So,
Forest.
there's the good news.
Up.
Now the not so good. Wake Forest scheduled game against Notre Dame this Saturday. The Duke Mayo Classic has been postponed. Fighting Irish announced 7 positive tests on their team this week, and a total of 13 players are in isolation. Demon Deacons now left with an unexpected bye week as they search for their first win of the season. All right, Hughes takes a look at the high-powered offense, which started to look a little bit like itself last week.
It's up.
Sophomore running back.
We're gonna go from this directly to the pack and 1.
131 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns against
You're going to
NC
the
State,
in-depth test?
becoming just the 8th player in the
So,
country
yeah.
to get into the end zone 3 times in a game this season. But moving forward, Walker can't dwell on the success of the last game.
Just gotta stay locked in. Next game, can't focus on what happened last week. Gotta focus on this game and be ready.
Walker had the bulk of the Demon Deacons' 149 yards on the ground, and he sees room for improvement.
We had a lot of mistakes like us running backs, pass blocking. We gotta work on that better.
Yeah.
Gotta be able to see who's coming out there, everything. Like as we run the ball, we gotta trust the offense and sync the resupply, everything. Like we just gotta trust the offense.
In the air, the Deeks had 239 passing yards against the Wolfpack. Ja'Cory
1 minute
Roberson
left in this
led the
pack, and
team
we're going
with
to
7
another pack.
receptions for 75 yards and a touchdown. On the year, he has 11 receptions for 167 yards.
I don't think I never had confidence like I have before now. My confidence definitely have grown. I'm really excited. I'm really ready to go back out there and play again. I was ready to play again more at NC State.
On the year, Roberson and Taylor Moore have combined for 312 of the Demon Deacons' 529 passing yards out of the slot receiver position. And one thing that has lacked the passing game is explosive plays.
We need guys that go down the field and catch deep balls, and we have guys that can do that. AT can do that. Donovan can do that. Donald Stewart, he can do that. They
Stand by,
run their
sound of
plays
1.
on the field, and they go just as hard as me and Taylor do in practice.
Is that it?
Take it, yeah.
All right, Eddie Hughes now joins us, and Eddie, your story focused on the Wake offense. The Wake defense has been a problem these first 2 weeks. How could this week off maybe help that side of the ball?
Well, Mike, we had the opportunity to talk to Ken Walker and Ja'Cory Roberson.
2 minutes
as
left
you
in this
heard from
pack.
the Wake offense, but on the defense, we got a chance to talk to Travion Red today as well. And the senior linebacker was just talking about the miscommunications once again that happened against NC State, that they've talked about that happened against Clemson. The defense has given up 41 points per game in the first 2 weeks, and they've got to clean that up. And it's just disappointing for a veteran like Red and the rest of the defense because they have
Sound
so
being
many
three.
upperclassmen and they had so many expectations coming into this season, especially on that defensive
90.
side of the ball. So they did not expect to start off the way they did, giving up so many explosive big plays against NC State. They gave up a lot of big runs. So they just really wanted to focus on going through practice, walkthroughs, everything with the high intensity and not having those same miscommunications. So this extra week they could really use this extra week to kind of get focused on those things and looking at that film.
Well, let's go back quickly to the postponed Notre Dame
1 minute
game.
left
Any
in this.
chance that it could be rescheduled? The schools say they're working on it, and there might be a couple of glaring dates on the calendar that they could get it done. What does it look like to you?
Well, Mike, I mean, it's obvious. October 3rd, both teams are off already. They're both off weeks. So I don't see what the problem is, but I guess they got to go through the ACC. That's one thing that Notre Dame spoke on in their press release, that they're working with the conference to try to, figure out a date. That October 3rd date was one of the dates that was mentioned in that press release. So I hope that they just push it back a week in Winston-Salem, to have the Fighting Irish come in and the Wake Forest defense with
30.
that extra week, and that offense as well. So that would be perfect for me, but I don't know. That's above my pay grade, Mike, so I don't know where that decision goes, where that could go, but that would be the perfect date looking at the schedules right now.
Lately, with COVID-19 in college football, a lot of decisions are made well above all of our pay grades. Eddie Hughes joining me tonight here in the Chevrolet Sports Night. Eddie, thank you.
It's my pleasure, Mike.
He's up.
Well, it's back to the drawing board for the Carolina Panthers following their 31-17
Video
loss to Tampa
in
on
2
Sunday. Next up, a trip out west to Los Angeles and a date with the Chargers in Week 3, but the Panthers go in without Christian McCaffrey. A
So-
high ankle sprain on his right ankle will keep the sideline.
We're gonna have
according to him,
sound
4 to 6
in
weeks.
3 next.
If you've been around CMC, you know that you give him a deadline, he'll try to beat it. He says he's going to try to get in to the lineup before 4 to 6 weeks, return sooner. But in the big picture, he's using this now downtime to grow, but this is new for him, and the emotions are still raw.
3's up.
Yeah, it sucks, to be 100% transparent.
Is he
Anytime
going
you
to
get
the
injured,
touchdown?
It's a horrible thing.
Touch
You
screen?
play football to play, not to sit out. And, this is part of the game and it happens, but I don't believe in coincidences. I think everything happens for a reason. And I
You
think
want that the
everything
other
is
way.
perspective and
His
attitude.
hand's on the
When
other
you look
side.
at it,
You see it?
You can win or you learn, and right now is a learning experience for me.
Twitter's up.
All right, in tonight's Twitter poll, asking you which 0-2 NFC team has the best chance to rally and make the playoffs. We gave you Carolina, Atlanta, Philadelphia, or Minnesota. And our deepest apologies to Detroit being our Giants fans, but you get it. At Sports vote, comment, and throw, follow, get the results while you're moving later on the program. Well, a second straight bye week is in the cards for North Carolina. They tried, but they couldn't find a
Need
dance
video
partner
in
for a
one.
non-conference game this weekend. Tar Heels were hoping to fill the void left by their cancellation against Charlotte last week when the 49ers had to pull out of that game due to COVID-19 concerns. Head coach Mac Brown said that they talked to more than a dozen teams about a last-minute
Sound in
matchup
2
and
next.
were the right fit. Tar Heels now focusing on November the 21st as a possible date for a
Putting a
non-conference
video in
game.
3.
It's a
Sound in 2
disappointing
is
outcome
next.
for a team that's just itching to get back to the field, but they're still trying to see the positives.
Thumbs up.
Suck?
Sound in 2.
Whoa, that's really quiet.
The positive is that you get easy back. You'll have to have Evans back.
Going to video next in 3.
It should be healthy. It should be fresh.
Oh my gosh, it's so quiet.
Playing gives us 2 weeks to prepare for most of the college. So I've told them it is what it is. It could happen again sometime this year. So this is the year of uncertainty. So don't get into I'm up, I'm down. I hate this. It doesn't matter.
Video's up.
Gosh, I hope his
Well,
next
the
start is
Steelers will be in
longer
action for
than
their second game of the season.
Woo!
They hit the road
We
with
shall see.
Blacksburg, Virginia to beat Virginia Tech. This will be the season opener for
Sound
the
in 1
Hokies.
next.
The Pack, which is making a 2-0 start after their win over Wake Forest. The Surprise starting quarterback
Video
Bailey
will be in
Hopkins
2 after
fueling the
that.
headlines. His efforts before and during the season opener impressing his coaches and teammates alike.
1 is up.
I'm really happy with Bailey's performance. I thought he did a great job. I thought that week of practice when he got announced as the starter going into the game, he had a laser focus throughout the week, and he did a really good
Video
job
2
prepping.
next.
So when we got to the game on Saturday, he was just showing off his skill.
2 is up.
As for Duke, they're heading north of the border to Virginia to face the defending Coastal champs, the UVA. Blue Devils have many concerns after 2 losses to start the campaign. Among them, their lack of production in the red
Down
zone.
in 3 next.
5 turnovers against DC last week, 4 of them coming in the red area. It's coming just 1 week after scoring only 1 touchdown and 3 red zone trips against Notre Dame.
Thoughts up.
I think we'll score all 4 times. We were driving, and I felt like if we don't turn the ball over, we score all 4 times.
Video
it's
in
just
1
a matter of
next,
execution at this
and I'm
point.
putting a sod in
As a
2.
team, we've got to come together a little bit more and be able to finish in the red zone, which is something we've harped on as a team.
It's up.
Finally, it's game week in Greenville. Pirate Nation chomping at the bit to get their season rolling. ECU takes the field for the first time Saturday. There will be no tune-up game. They're jumping right into the deep end of the pool.
Sound in 2
against
next.
13th ranked Central Florida, a team that knocked off
Video will
Georgia
be in
Tech by
3 after
4
that.
touchdowns last week. Playing the underdog though just fine by the Pirates, who are anxious to show what they can do right away against the Pels.
Thoughts up.
Tough opponent coming in here.
All right, he's actually on camera next.
Lakers Nuggets float. Tees next.
Okay.
Tees next.
In the AAC for the past 3 seasons. We get a chance to start off with them at home, so it's an exciting matchup for our players. They're excited about it. They're excited about
He's gonna be on camera next.
being at home for the opener, and it's can't wait to get out on the field.
He's up.
All right, need to take our first time out. Much more to get to on the program. Twitter poll is up, asking which 0-2 NFC team can turn things around and make a run to the playoffs.
Video
Panthers,
in
the
3
Falcons,
for
the
the Tees
Eagles, or
next.
the Vikes at sports_9 right there. Where are you going to vote? Comment, follow as well. Coming up on the other
Video's
side,
up.
we're going to check the scoreboard and lay down who you should start. And your fantasy football picks heading into week
Stand by.
3. It's the fuel, and it's mixed.
3, 2, 1. Take it, Master.